Infrastructure. Senator Donnghaile, you have 8 minutes, please.
Minister, I'm grateful to address the Seanad on the issue of transport and sport today. They seem unrelated apart from sharing a minister, but both need to be got right in order to protect our future, especially our health, our social well-being and cohesion. With transport, we have to start at the point of admitting we're losing the battle with congestion in Dublin, as referenced by other colleagues. It's simply a nightmare many mornings for tens of thousands of people, ourselves included, who simply need to get to their work. There are plans, but they're for the future, and I don't believe they're ambitious enough to allow us to catch up with other cities, never mind starting to win our own battles. We need to cut through the spin. For example, at budget time, the Minister announced €384 million extra for his department. This figure is, of course, deeply deceptive, and I'll tell you why. The vast majority of this €357 million is to implement the National Development Plan, and in fact, this was cut because of overspend in the Children's Hospital. That leaves only €27 million additional on current spending. The Minister announced €40 million for tourism, not linked to a no-deal Brexit, and this leaves open the question as to how extra spend of €40 million can be accommodated in a €27 million budget. So it's likely that there are cuts hidden in the small print. Now, all of this means more congestion, even more stretched rural services for people across this state. And the Minister has little to say so far on the need for all-Ireland transport. A €60 million investment would mean 4 trains an hour between our 2 biggest cities. Now, wouldn't that be something truly great? Wouldn't that be something that would have massive economic and indeed tourism benefits if it were to come to pass? And there is, of course, increasing demand for it to be so right along the Eastern Corridor. The big picture must be a plan to achieve free and efficient public transport. That's how we beat congestion, reduce emissions and make getting to work bearable for workers. Sinn Féin supports starting with under 18-year-olds so that the culture of public transport and indeed demand for it is instilled in our youngest. I could list a bunch of roads we need or refer to airports for all, but we have to shift our thinking towards free public transport in urban and rural Ireland, as well as clean, green, efficient and reliable transportation. I've seen an FOI document where the Minister's own advisers completely rubbish the government's €1 million electric cars promise. It's a pure pluck-a-figure politics and won't be delivered. In terms of sport, we have to cut through more spin too. Many of Fine Gael, TD and Senator were cock-a-hoop to announce, before any press release, I might add, details of the sports capital grant last week. And I wonder how many of them even know that that was the 2018 allocations being paid out in Budget 2020. This should be an annual, regularly paid, transparent process, not an overdue grant that Fine Gael like to tip off their local clubs about and gets to feature in their election literature. I can't discuss sport in this country without discussing the need and the growing demand for an all-Ireland sports structure right across the board, from soccer to athletics to mixed martial arts. There is bubbling under the surface a people-led movement for all-Ireland national sports teams and competitions, because it's proven and shown that Ireland works best and achieves more when it works together. Again, fundamentally, investment is way behind where other countries are, and the government has no intention of catching up. Members will remember a recent briefing by our Olympic rowers where they were paying for much of their own training themselves. That sums up, unfortunately, the approach to sport. If they deliver Olympic medals, then they're bound to have a minister crawling up their backs, sometimes quite literally. But until then, they are on their own. That culture has to change. We must put our money where our mouth is if we want success and all of the positive health, including mental health and social benefits that go with a healthy sporting culture. Minister, in conclusion, and you'll note it was significantly shorter than my other colleagues, while I have you here, I just want to raise the issue. I seen in the press last week a statement from the CEO of Toruism NI in the north, very positively speaking about the growing rationale for linking Ireland's ancient east with the Wild Atlantic Way via the Causeway coast. It would be encouraging to hear from you your own perspective on that, the very obvious tourism and economic and indeed transportation benefits that come from doing that. And now that I suppose Tourism NI and indeed Tourism Ireland Fáilte Ireland are out of the traps. I think it would be incumbent upon you, Minister, to encourage and foster that engagement, to show your support publicly, and to initiate a process that looks at real economic research into the benefits of doing that, because I think they're there. I think it makes absolute sense from an economic and logistical and tourism point of view, but it just defies logic to me that Ireland's ancient East stops where it stops and doesn't go into Downpatrick, doesn't go into the heartland of Cuchulainn and connect all the way up to Finmacool and the Causeway Coast. So you might make a comment briefly on that, Minister, while you're here. Garam Maigad, Las Cathair.